Creatine might be the single most misunderstood nutrient in the world. Most people think it's a steroid or something, maybe that only younger guys in the gym should be taking. But the science says the exact opposite. If you're over the age of 50, creatine is actually more important for your body and your brain than ever before. And if you're running low, which most older people are, it means muscle loss, low energy, and even memory problems. Meanwhile, when people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond start supplementing with creatine, the results are dramatic. It's literally changing what scientists believe is possible for aging. So if you ever brushed off creatine as something that you really don't need, this might be the most important video that you'll see all year. And note that I've made a free guide to go along with this video. It includes the benefits, the tips, the strategies that you won't get anywhere else. I'll put a link to this guide down below in the description. You can grab it, get a free copy, including recipes, including workouts, including macro numbers you need to hit, the creatine do's and don'ts, stress and cortisol reducers, hormone balancers, all in this 39-page guide to help you build a strong mind and strong muscle. Be sure to check that one out. Put a lot of energy into it. So why is it that you should be taking creatine when you're 50 or 60 or older? Most people have no idea just how important it is for their body. When you're not getting enough, your muscles can't contract properly. Your brain can't think as clearly, and every cell in your body struggles to make energy. That's how fundamental it is. Yet almost everyone is walking around deficient without knowing it. Creatine isn't a steroid or a bodybuilding powder. It's a nutrient that your body makes every day, and it's built into the way your cells create energy. Every time your muscles contract, every time your brain processes a thought, you're burning through something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It is the energy currency of your body. And creatine's job is to exchange ATP so your cells don't run out of power when you're working out, when you're thinking hard, or under a lot of stress. Now here's the problem. Your liver, your kidneys, your brain can only process about 1 gram of creatine per day, but your body needs at least 2 to 3 grams just for basic function. The rest has to come from your diet. Creatine is found in meat and in fish, but the amount most people eat today barely scratches the surface because we don't eat enough of those forms properly. You'll need close to 1 pound of beef or 1 pound of salmon every single day to reach the levels proven in the study, which means unless you're eating like a hunter-gatherer, your cells are running low. And this doesn't just affect your muscles. Yes, creatine is stored in the muscles, but is also stored in your brain. And your brain is one of the hungriest organs in your body, right? You can just do desk work all day, not get up, not move, and be exhausted. It's because your brain is gobbling up energy. Every thought, every memory, every sharp decision is fueled by creatine's ability to recharge ATP. If you don't have enough, it is never firing on all cylinders. That's why creatine is one of the most studied nutrients in history. Decades of research, thousands of trials. The verdict is super clear after I got into it. Not a bodybuilding gimmick. It's an essential nutrient that your body needs, and it can't keep up typically on its own in today's world. If you don't replace what you're missing, then the systems you depend on most, your muscle, your energy, your mood, your memory, they all pay the price. Now, here's where things really get serious. After 40, your natural creatine production starts to decline. And at the same time, most people start eating less meat and less fish as they age. So just as your body needs more support, it's actually getting less. And the research shows it's older adults that benefit more from creatine, from supplementing, more than younger people. So while athletes may have made it famous, the truth is creatine is far more important for older adults than it ever was for younger ones. So the question is, what are the biggest ways creatine helps as you get older? Let's start with muscle loss. One of the most dangerous side effects of aging that a lot of people struggle with is called sarcopenia. And it starts earlier than you realize. After 40, you lose about 3 to 8% of your muscle every decade. So by the time you reach your 70s, you could be missing as much as 1/3 of your muscle mass if you don't do anything to stop it. Not only that, the fast twitch fibers, the ones that you need for balance, stability, and quick reactions, are the first to go. That's why falls become so common in older adults, and why strength is one of the strongest predictors of whether you can continue living independently as you age. So this is where creatine shines. It's one of the few nutrients shown to actually restore and preserve those fast twitch fibers. And when it's combined with exercises, the results are dramatic. In study after study, older adults who supplemented creatine while training, getting some exercise, gained around 3 pounds of lean muscle in just a few months. Not only that, the strength jumped from 5 to 15%. And they performed better on tests like sit-to-stand test. That test directly predicts fall risk, and independence as you get older. And if you've been watching my videos, then you probably already know this. Every pound of muscle that you add raises your resting metabolism. So when creatine helps you build just 3 pounds of lean muscle, which is very realistic in a few months, that's an extra 8 to 21 calories burned every single day without lifting a finger. That might not sound huge on its own, but over months and years, it adds up, making it easier to keep weight off and avoid fats from creeping back on. Now, another challenge that shows up with age is low energy and fatigue. Like we just discussed, creatine's job is to recharge ATP, the fuel that your cells burn through every single second. So when it's in short supply, your body and your mind just feel exhausted. And in control trials, people supplementing with creatine reported less fatigue and performed about 30% better on mental tasks compared to those on placebo. And unlike the cognitive benefits that we'll be covering in a moment, which can take months to appear, the improvements in energy show up just within a few weeks. And ladies, I have some good news for you. Women tend to see an even bigger lift from creatine than men. It's because your starting levels are usually lower, so when you supplement, the difference is easier to feel. More stamina, clearer thinking, better energy. Now next, another challenge that comes harder to ignore with age is memory, forgetting names, losing track of details, or feeling like your mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be. Creatine plays a direct role here as well. Your brain stores creatine just like your muscles do, and it uses that reserve to constantly keep neurons fiery. But as levels decline, thinking slows down and then memory performance drops. The research on this is really striking. In older adults that are supplementing with creatine, it's been shown to nearly double memory performance compared to a placebo. And in other trials, even just a week of higher dosing was enough to improve recall and working memory. And in Alzheimer's patients, creatine supplementation increased brain creatine by about 11%, which translated into measurable improvements on cognitive tests. Crazy important nutrient. The key point here, though, is younger adults usually don't see much of a mental boost from creatine because their brains already have enough. But in older adults, where deficiency is more common, the benefits are dramatic. So you'd be crazy to not at least consider taking it if you're over the age of 50. The next challenge people face as they age is mental health, high stress, more anxiety, and in a lot of cases, depression. Low creatine is a factor in this. Large studies show that older adults with lower creatine levels are about twice as likely to experience depression. They also report more severe stress and anxiety compared to those with higher levels. So like we discussed, your brain runs on energy just like your muscles do. When creatine levels drop, brain cells struggle to communicate properly. Neurotransmitters don't fire as efficiently. And as a result, the brain has a harder time regulating mood. So when stress or low mood becomes harder to shake as you get older, it's not a personal weakness. Many times your brain is just running low on energy, and creatine gives it what it needs to function at its best. By now you can see how powerful creatine is. But I'm sure some of you still have doubts. So let's address some of the creatine myths that you may have heard over the years. The first one is like that steroid persona, that performance enhancement, the gym bros loading up on this to put, muscle on. Creatine is a natural nutrient that your body already makes every single day. Not to mention that you're already consuming small amounts of it, meat and fish. Supplementation just brings your levels up to where they should be, very similar to collagen. You're already consuming it through some of the foods that you eat, but it's oftentimes significantly depleted, so it affects the gut and affects the skin. And then when you take a collagen supplement, it tops it up. Very similar. Instead of beauty on the outside and restoration that collagen does, creatine's like beauty and restoration on the inside for your brain. Now, the second myth is related to the kidneys. This one has been thoroughly debunked. Creatine has been studied for decades across hundreds of clinical trials. One review looked at 28 million adverse event reports worldwide and found no evidence of harm to kidneys or liver. Even long-term studies where people took creatine daily for years, kidney and liver function stayed completely normal. Note that creatine can raise creatinine levels on a blood test, but that's expected for the blood test side of things. And a lot of people confuse creatinine with creatine. Creatinine being a measurement of the kidneys, creatine being a nutrient that your body makes. So it's just a normal byproduct of creatine metabolism. Your kidneys are perfectly fine in that scenario. Finally, there's a bloating myth. When creatine actually draws water into the muscles itself is one of the actions that it does. So people are like, is there dehydration? Is there bloating? What happens here? So drawing the water into the muscles is what helps your muscles work better. It's very different from puffiness or fat gain. If anything, it improves muscle hydration. I've definitely noticed more definition since beginning creatine over the last couple of months in my muscles, in the performance, in the appearance of them. The truth is creatine is one of the most studied and safest nutrients in the world. So adding it in, yes, you're drawing some water out of the body into the muscles, but it's still in the body. You could add in some more water. That's always a good idea into your regimen. But the risks of this nutrient are myths, and the benefits are absolutely proven by a lot of studies. And so when I got into it, I just couldn't avoid it. That's why I'm making this video today. So let's talk about how to actually take creatine, because the details matter. Sweet spot number for most people is 3 to 5 grams per day. That's the amount used in study after study showing benefits in older adults. You can get there one of two ways. With these two options is loading. This means you take 20 grams a day for about a week. You usually split them into 4 smaller doses. So you'd be taking 5 grams 4 times a day. You can top up your levels really fast. Some studies have shown that to be beneficial. Then you drop your way down and stay to like a 3 to 5 gram dose ongoing for maintenance. Quickly fills up your muscles and it tops you up fast. The second option is a little more simple, and it's the one that I took. You just start with 3 to 5 grams a day. So for the one I use, a scoop or 2 scoops is what I used every day. It was 5 grams from the beginning. If you do that, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to reach your saturation. That's what the studies show as well, that you get, from loading. You can do that in a week or just over time, and you gradually work your way up to it. The choice really comes down to how fast you want to start feeling the benefits. So you could do it 20 grams a day for a week and load up quickly and feel the benefits faster, or just add it to your regimen over a 3 to 4 week period of time. It'll start to top up. That's the route I took, and it was about 3 weeks, and I could really start to see the definition, especially in my muscles and just energy-wise, feeling great. So as for timing, you can take it in the morning or the night. It doesn't have to be tied to exercise. A lot of people take it post-exercise. As long as you're consistently taking it on a daily basis, your muscles and your brain will get the amount and have the amount that they need. What does matter, okay? There's a couple basics. First, take it with some food or maybe with like another powder or protein powder that you're having. That will minimize any kind of stomach irritation that you have. It's another reason why I just do the 1 to 2 scoops, the 5 gram over time. So you're not, shocking your body with lots of it. Also, stay hydrated. It does pull water into your cells, so just put more water in. And then stick with creatine monohydrate. It's microionized. It's the form that is used in almost all of the research, and it's the one that's proven to work. A lot of people use it or have used it in a gummy form. When you make creatine into a gummy, one, it's hard to get high of enough dose into the gummies. You end up having to eat 8 to 10 gummies in order to get it in. That's a lot of extra sugars and things that you're introducing to the body. The other thing is that when you have to heat to make the gummy, it denatures the creatine. So there's not very many forms out there that actually contain the amount of creatine that they say they contain, because it degrades the creatine when you put it in the gummy form. And some of the ones sold on, prominent marketplaces don't have any creatine in it, yet they're being touted as that. So you really got to be careful for those. I normally don't prefer the gummy form. Now, another question I hear is, do you need to cycle on and off? The answer is no. Your body doesn't build a tolerance. You don't cycle on and off collagen. It's just a nutrient you top up each day because it depletes over time, and your body uses it every day to build structures. Study after study confirms this. It's safe to take continuously. In fact, people that use it daily up to 5 years straight have no negative effects on their kidneys or on their liver. It's used over time to build, and you're topping up that nutrient. It's exactly like collagen. Collagen's connective tissue. Creatine is muscle and energy. Another helpful detail is what happens if you stop. Once your muscles are saturated, they hold creatine for 4 to 6 weeks, even without supplementation. So you kind of have those levels. It's there. It's available. Your body's using it as it needs. After that, levels will start to return to baseline and will start to deplete again. So if you do decide to cycle off for some reason, rest assured you won't lose the muscle gains you made while using it right away, as long as it's not longer than 4 to 6 weeks. Now, there's one more piece most people miss, and it's this. Creatine works even better when you pair it with magnesium. Why? Because magnesium acts like a switch that activates the creatine system. Without it, your body can't fully use creatine to recycle energy. And when the two are combined, studies show bigger improvements in strength and power compared to just creatine alone. And it brings me to this, to the part I've been waiting to share with you, right? And all that research I've developed is that you can just grab that product, and my wife and I have been using it, and my family have been using it. It doesn't have a junk, and it's got the quality, and you're just getting exactly what the label says. And so if you're wondering where to start, you might want to check that one out. I think it would be very beneficial for you. So for those interested, just go ahead and click the link below in the description. Now, before you start taking creatine every day, keep in mind that it only delivers its full benefits when you actually use your muscles. That means you need to have the right kind of exercise to go with it. And the good news is it doesn't have to take hours in the gym. In fact, 10 minutes a day is good enough to flip your fat burning switch, build strength, and make sure creatine is doing its job. That's exactly what I will show you in my next video. The #1 full body exercise for weight loss. It's fast, it's simple, and it works better than traditional cardio. So click here to watch it now, and I'll walk you through it step by step.